Hey, welcome back, y'all. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're not new to the channel, welcome back. Either way, I hope you enjoyed tonight's video. And if you do, you stick around, leave me a comment. Let me know if you enjoyed it or if there's something specific you'd like me to talk about. It helps me keep these videos going. It also helps keep me on topic. I know I ramble sometimes, and I think it's just my ADD. That being said, let's get right into it. Tonight I want to talk about the spiritual connection we start to cultivate within ourselves and the peace that brings us, and how that can sometimes be a resource that can help remove a lot of frustration from our day and a lot of uncertainty, can remove a lot of distraction if we remain connected to it. And I want to talk about that because yesterday I had a day that I struggled with some thoughts and some emotions that were triggered by relatively non-existent things. Maybe it was stuff that was all in my head because maybe I didn't get enough sleep or I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. The importance of that spiritual connection, and however it is that we find we are able to tap into it best, or that we know works best for us, is something that we have to remind ourselves we have access to. One of the ways that I've always found a good connectivity to that was to go for a drive and to listen to music. And that would help quiet down the outside static noise. It would remove me and my thoughts in an almost meditative way, because there wasn't anything specific to focus on aside from how the music made me feel and the drive. And the simplicity of that is almost parallel to the simplicity of we have even the ability to tap into that by simply closing our eyes and taking a few deep breaths in and out deeply, to release the tension, to release the anxious thoughts that may be starting to rule our day for us. They may be triggering us to respond in ways that we know we typically wouldn't respond. They may be responding, or they may be telling us to respond in ways that we then feed into adding or paying attention to distractions that further stick us into an unhappy cycle. At one point, I got so distracted by the thoughts and emotions that weren't significant that I found myself with this feeling of lack, this feeling of complexity that duplicating things that I already had would simplify. The perfect example of that is that I found myself at the grocery store in a not clear head, but I needed several things. But in an unclear mind, distracted by outside emotions, by outside triggers, I was telling myself that I was lacking in certain things that I should get while I was there. You should get dinner. It will make the day easier. I already had dinner at home. There was dinner already prepared, and there was no need for me to spend the additional money or to spend the time walking around the store to decide what I wanted to get. It's very easy for us to forget or to lose sight of the things that we already have. The inner peace we already know we have, if we can't remove ourselves from whatever those outside triggers are, whatever those sources of the static noise are. We have to be able to remind ourselves that sometimes the easiest way to recenter ourselves is to stop, take a few breaths, and release those things, and allow the things that we already know we have and that require our attention to rise up out of the static noise that we may be dealing with. My grocery store story might not be the best example of that. But it was a good reminder to me that when I'm not paying attention to the things that I already have within my life, when I'm not paying attention to the things that already make my world complete, even if those things are within me, if I'm not acknowledging those things, it's very easy to allow yourself to create new additions to your world, to tell yourself that you need new additions to your world, whether they be physical things you purchase, whether they be people, whether they be any type of distraction, to try and ease attention that you're not meant to be carrying. We have an inner resource for our own peace, our own serenity. And that peace and serenity is almost unlimitedly available as long as we can stop and meditate, even for just a few seconds. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Soothe the static noise down, allowing the things that need our attention to rise. Allow the reminders of how much we already have to be the things that we acknowledge and we give credit to. Because those things are the things that will bring us peace and serenity instead of leaving us with a feeling of lack, with a feeling of more being needed. The resource that we have within ourselves for that inner peace and for that inner stillness will almost always show us how much we're not actually lacking in anything, in love, in happiness, and how much we actually are abundant in everything in our life, as long as we're not allowing outside noise to tell us that those abundances aren't real. I know that may have been jumbled. Sometimes my thoughts that seem very clear to me don't always come through the clearest when I try and describe them. But if you're having a relatively simple day, you find yourself starting to get frustrated, or starting to find yourself feeling like you're lacking clarity, or the next clear step, lacking simplicity, lacking support, you can find clarity, you can find simplicity, you can find support all within yourself. But it does require that we remain connected to that, and to remind ourselves that sometimes we have to take a step back, and we have to be able to take a few breaths and allow for the most important things to be shown to us. I hope that made sense. I do appreciate you guys watching. I'm probably going to make another video tonight. I'm sitting here kind of just doodling. I've been working on this piece of doodle art for a few days. It hasn't made any progress. I've erased more of it than I've drawn, but it helps me clear my head, and it helps me share. So I may make a couple more of these. Thank you for watching, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I'll keep making the videos. keep trying to reach out to help you guys.